There are stories that explain everything. Why we get sick. Why we go to war. Why we wake up at night, afraid of nothing we can name. The Greeks had one answer for all of it. Her name was Pandora. But to understand Pandora, you need to go back one step. Prometheus stole fire from the gods and gave it to humanity. Zeus chained him to a rock for it. But the humans who now warmed themselves by that stolen fire, they were still out there, and Zeus had not forgotten them.
They will pay!
He summoned Hephaestus.
Build me a human. From clay and water, like all the others.
Hephaestus had built weapons for gods and palaces for kings. But this was different. He worked slowly, every line of her face deliberate, every curve of her hands considered. When he was done, he stepped back.
Done.
And then the gods came.
Good job.
Aphrodite gave her beauty. Athena gave her skilled hands. Hermes gave her a tongue that could make lies sound like the most reasonable thing in the world. With every gift, something shifted. What Hephaestus had built from clay, the gods had turned into something else entirely. They named her Pandora, the first woman to ever walk the earth. Hermes took her by the hand and walked her down from Olympus to Epimetheus, the brother of Prometheus. Prometheus, before they chained him to that rock, had looked his brother in the eye and said one thing.
Let go of me! I need to speak! If Zeus ever sends you anything, a gift, a word, anything, turn it away.
Epimetheus hadn't forgotten. When Hermes appeared at his door, he was already searching for the words, a polite refusal, a reason that wouldn't offend a god. And then he saw Pandora came. He stood there, a grown man who had survived wars and winters, completely unable to look away. She didn't even speak yet. She didn't have to. Every warning his brother had ever given him quietly left the room. He stepped aside and let her in. They were married before the season changed. On the last night of the celebration, as the guests were leaving, Hermes appeared at the door, still smiling. He set a clay jar on the ground between them, dark, heavy, sealed with wax so thick you couldn't tell where the lid ended and the body began.
From Zeus, for the two of you.
And then, he was gone. The room went quiet. Epimetheus stood over it for a long time. Something his brother had said was coming back to him now. Slowly, the way cold comes back after you've been standing too long in the wind. He didn't open it. He carried it to the farthest room in the house, pushed it under the bed, and came back without saying a word. Pandora had seen the jar the night it arrived. She hadn't forgotten it. 3 days later, over dinner, she looked at him.
Aren't you curious what's inside?
No,
Really?
really.
Why?
My brother warned me before they took him. He said if Zeus ever sent anything at all, don't touch it.
How do you know he was right? How do you know this isn't just his fight with Zeus becoming your problem? It's been sitting under our bed for 3 days. If there was something wrong with it, we'd know by now. Nobody has to know we opened it.
Epimetheus looked at the jar, then at her. He stood up. Pandora didn't wait for an answer. She walked to the bedroom herself, pulled the jar out from under the bed, and carried it between them.
Pandora.
We agreed.
I never said yes.
You stood up.
I stood up to think.
Epimetheus. Zeus is a god. If he wanted to hurt us, he wouldn't need a jar. 3 days it's been sitting here. Nothing happened. Nobody came back for it. Nobody warned us again. We open it together. We see what's inside. And then we close it, and we never speak of it again.
He looked at the jar. At her. At the jar.
Together.
He didn't move toward it, but he didn't stop her either. Pandora lifted the lid. The sound it made was almost nothing, like something that had been holding its breath for a very long time, finally letting go. What came out didn't rush. It spread. The way illness spreads through a village. You don't see it leave. You only notice when someone starts to suffer. Disease crept into healthy bodies. Grief found people who had never known loss. War grew between neighbors who had lived in peace. They didn't announce themselves. They simply became part of the world. The way darkness becomes part of a room when the fire goes out. Epimetheus slammed the lid shut. Too late. The jar was almost empty. The room was silent. Outside, the night sounded exactly the same as it always had. But nothing was. And then, something moved inside. Small. Warm. Nothing like the rest. Pandora leaned close. At the very bottom of the jar, one thing had not left with the others. The Greeks called it elpis. Some translate it as hope. Others say expectation. If you want to know what the Greeks really believed was inside that jar, and what Pandora actually represents, that's what we're getting into next time. Make sure you don't miss it.